Welcome to my table. Today we're going to take a look at the U.S. Army issue survival fishing kit. This came from the late 1990s. Never been opened. Vacuum sealed. It was packaged March 1993. Comes with 100-mile-an-hour tape around the perimeter. See how 28-year-old tape goes. It's pretty well stuck to the case here. There we go. I suppose if it was a real survival situation, I could wrap it around my knife handle to save it for later. Let's take a look at what's inside. We can get it open. That's pretty tight. There we go. Guess you really got to want to fish to get this open. Pop it open. We've got a lid. I assume that lid's shiny enough to use as a signaling device if you have to. If it was the only thing that you had. We have a sheet with the contents. It's just a little business card size. We have instructions for fishing. That's kind of oily. I wonder if there's something in there that's leaked on this, or if they oiled the paper so it won't decay. And I wonder if it'll make a good fire starter. Now that's a little pamphlet on survival fishing. It's only printed on one side of each page. Best of luck, and remember, courage alone has won many a battle. Kind of like that. See what we have here. Take it all apart here. So we've got a little swatch of red cloth with a bunch of safety pins. These are those big military brass ones that come on bandoliers, it looks like. So there's 8 of those. Monofilament fishing line. More monofilament fishing line. This is a heavier gauge than this. This is light. You can see the size difference here. Whoops. There we go. See the size difference? A couple of very large treble hooks. Put a 7/16 by 39 round out for size comparison. Got a weedless spoon. There's little wires here to help keep it out of the weeds. It's just silver. It's got a small rivet going through the eye of the hook, keeping it to the spoon. Snap hooks, swivels. It looks like there's a steel leader in there. Yep, one steel leader. So that's pretty handy, particularly if you're a pilot or air crew and you don't know how to tie a fisherman's knot. Let's take a look at what this is. So this is rusted. It's rusted up pretty badly. But they're needles, different size needles. These are pretty big. And then all the way down to smaller sewing needles. So a lot of different sizes here. So these are, looks like 2 of each size. So we have these 2 triangular bladed ones that are big, 2 triangulars that are not so big, and 2 long sewing needles and 2 smaller sewing needles. And then this feels like a cotton cleaning swab that's probably got some wax or something on it that's dried up and then rusted up in the intervening years. We have a package of 4 different sizes, 5 different sizes of fish hooks. A very large one, and then going down in size, 1 big one, one extra large, 1 large. Some extra mediums, smalls, 3 lead weights. Two gigantic ass fish hooks. See these here next to an AK round, how big they are. Now obviously these would be good if you're fishing for sharks, muskies, something gigantic. The other thing you can do with these is lash them to a stick and use them to snag things. I would assume, but I'm not sure, that you could straighten these out too and make them into a little frog gig, because they are ridiculously huge. And a little Rapala here, a classic red and white spoon with a treble hook on the end. A single edge razor blade. Always nice to have a cutting tool if you don't have one in your pocket or on your kit when you bail out or crash. And that is not rusty, still sharp. And then another business card sized insert telling you how to tie fisherman's knots. If you've ever fished, you'll know that the monofilament line knots differently than a woven cloth or a synthetic thread type of line. You have to excuse all the sounds of the house. This is an occupied dwelling. We have laundry going on and all other sorts of things. And then you have the bottom of the tray, so you can see there are different thicknesses. Go back together. Anything like this would be handy in a survival situation. If it was all you had, I suppose you could boil water in it, but it's better than having something in plastic, because you can use it if you needed to cook. Fry up the fish you caught. Again, you can, I'm sure, signal with it. If you had to, you could dig something with it. So tell me what you think. Do you think that this is an adequate kit for its size? It's about the size of a deck of playing cards. If you had a kit like this to put together, how would you change it? Remember that this kit is designed for people who, we don't know what geographic area they're going to be. I'm sure in the desert there aren't a lot of fish, but there are a lot of useful tools even if you were not in an aquatic environment, that you could use it for different things. The fish hooks, of course, you could string them up and use them to snag people's clothes as an early warning thing. You could use them to snag bigger animals. You could hang a hook like this with a piece of meat on it by a line from a tree limb and let some kind of predator grab a hold of it. I've heard of them using very large treble hooks with the chicken on it to catch coyotes. I'm sure with a hook like that, something smaller, you could catch something like badgers, maybe a fox, the carnivorous Iraqi squirrels. And the person issued this could be in a temperate climate, they could be in a jungle, they could be in an Arctic climate. So you don't know if they're going to be catching little panfish or if they are actually going to be looking for something that's, 3 or 4 feet long. Turtles, anything like that. Safety pins, of course, are always a handy tool to have if you've got ripped clothing. You want to attach pieces of parachute together, whatever, to make a shelter or a wing poncho or anything of that nature. They're always super handy to have. If you like the video, hit the like button and let me know in the comments below how you feel.